as heat race number 1 of your WA Modified Sedan Series return to Collie. It's an annual pilgrimage here for Christmas Company weekend. We see the Modified Sedans. Peter Katona, who didn't actually complete a lap in hot laps, was the driver calling the 2 minutes. He's back out and at the tail of the field, so it should be Paul Stevens and Sam McCauley. He's got a roof number on. We can actually tell who he is now. So Sam McCauley starts on the outside of that front row. Row 2 is Luke Stevens and Jake Malcolm, Brendan Fraser, Peter Fraser. Row 3, row 4 is Kevin Element and Adam Houston, with that man, as we've already said, Peter Katona, the lonesome man at the tail of the field. Merry Christmas to all of us here from Collie as we get underway with our opening heat race, and we've got one car that just did not fire a shot at all, and I would have to say that that one's going to be called back very quickly, as that inside line definitely got the upper hand, and we were correct straight away. Sam McCauley, who just could not get off the line, and I would say that our chief steward tonight, Mitch Berlin, will be calling the fact that the 36 will be going to the back of the bus, or even more drastically for himself, onto the infield.
Well, we're going green again next time around. So an untidy start. We've got a bit of time to catch up. This is heat number 1 of the Modified Sedans, over 10 laps. This is not all of them. There is another 3 in the pits. There's 12 altogether, and they'll have 3 heat races out of the 4.
Some light damage to the right side of Peter Fraser's. He'll now start on the outside of the youngest of the sons, Luke, with the inside of that second row. It's still Paul Stevens. Now he'll have Jake Malcolm, who runs very wide, and now he will lose a wholesale ground on the rest of the field, as he'll go back to 5th before we even hit turn number 1, as Kevin Element's the next one with some striking troubles in the Holden Commodore car number 36. And about to go a lap down is going to be Sam McCauley. He's just rolling to the top side of the racetrack. Probably not the best time to be moving to the inside, as Luke Fraser and Paul Stevens go out for the race lead. Lap number 1 going to car number 15 of Luke Fraser. Fraser was the winner last time around here at the Make Smoking History Collie Speedway, when the Modified Sedans ran into town last year. Seat leads from Stevens and Brendan Fraser, as it's 15, 6 and 2 as they'll complete 2 laps, 8 laps still remaining of your opening heat race.
So Luke Fraser leads down the main straight after 2 laps. Back in second is Paul Stevens, and in third Brandon Fraser. Jake Malcolm 4th, and back then to Peter Fraser in 5th place. Then Kevin Element in 6th, and the 36 of Sam McCauley does put the red rocket onto the infield, and he's OUT out after 2 laps. Down the main straight, our race leader is the 15, not putting a foot wrong, Luke Fraser. Back to Paul Stevens in second, third place, Brandon Fraser. Then behind them, it's the 23 of Jake Malcolm. Peter Fraser is next, then Kevin Element. Back to Peter Katona and Adam Houston. Out of 4 they come. 4 down and 6 to go in this opening heat. And it's still the 15 of Luke Fraser doing a great job out in front.
The gap's just stayed constant between Fraser and Stevens, as Brendan Fraser now has the inside look on car number 6, Stephen Sealings out of Narrogin. They're side by side for second place. Also near on side by side for 4th between Jake Malcolm and Peter Fraser, as Fraser still giving challenge to the 23, who started off the front row and has just been falling through the field. As we hit the halfway mark, it's still 15 from Stevens and Brendan Fraser. Luke Fraser on his merry way of taking out a very comfortable win in the opener.
So 6 laps down, Luke Fraser out in front. The battle is for second between Paul Stevens in the 6th and car number 2 there in third place, as you can see, of Brandon Fraser. Not far behind them is another battle, 4th and 5th, Jake Malcolm and the 0 car of Peter Fraser. That's for 4th and 5th. They're about 15 metres behind second and third. 7 down, 3 to go. Luke Fraser out in front by a handy margin now. Paul Stevens being hounded by the 2 car of Brandon Fraser, as is Jake Malcolm being hounded by the 0 of Peter Fraser. Back behind them is the 31 car of Kevin Element, then Jake Malcolm, and the 16 car retires after 7 laps, which is Peter Katona. 2 to run, and it's all the 15 of Luke Fraser.
And the battle for 2 looks like it's going to very quickly become a 4-way battle for 2 spots on the podium, as Jake Malcolm and Peter Fraser have caught the back bumper of Brendan Fraser, who's just continually been pestering the 6 machine for the runner-up spot, while Luke Fraser has just darted away throughout the onset of this one. There's a white flag, 1 to go for Luke Fraser. a dominant run in this opening heat race. He's just hit the front from that opening lap, getting to the inside of Paul Stevens, who has just not been able to play any sort of a challenge on your race winner. It is Luke Fraser, the winner of heat race number 1 for your modified sedans, over Paul Stevens, who had a gallant fight on his hands and will still hold on for P2 over car number 2 of Brendan Fraser, Jake Malcolm, Peter Fraser, Kevin Alleman, and ailing